Hello and welcome to the third installment of Taking Your Business Digital. My name is Fergus Ryan, and I'm the owner and founder of Fourth Level Digital Media. And what we do is help companies get found on the web, and we've been doing that since 2014. We're currently providing a number of digital solutions for companies in the forms of articles, blog posts, social media account management, podcasts, and general strategy on be it digital marketing or social interaction. Now, what we're going to talk about this morning is traditional marketing versus digital marketing. It's only going to take about 15 minutes, and we're just going to look at the high level main differences and advantages of digital marketing over traditional. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, when we start discussing digital marketing with companies who are new to the idea or the concept, they often straight away tell you, but look, I'm already advertising. I'm using print or radio or TV or billboards or sponsorship of sporting teams or events. And as far as they're concerned, that's as much advertising as they need to do. And what I'd always not throw back at them, but sort of get them to ask themselves is, okay, that's fine, and that may be, all you need to do. But how do you know it's working? You can pile euro or dollar or pound after euro, dollar after pound into traditional marketing, and you honestly don't know the results. Um, I mean, it's not a bit of a gray area; it's a huge gray area, and we're going to have a look at that a little later. But I suppose the whole mental model around traditional marketing is based on the old concept, the three-step mental model, the old concept that if you stimulate someone about your product or service, they'll want to demand it, they'll go buy it at the shelf. That's the first moment of truth. They get it physically in their hands. The second moment of truth is then when they actually take it home, use it, and maybe tell other people about it and start spreading the good news. But it's basically all comes back to the stimulus, the advertisement. That is the focal point of your engagement with your audience. After that, then you hope they react to it and they buy it and they use it and then they spread the good word. So it's a very basic three-step mental model. This sounds like it was created in the dark ages, but up to 2005, Procter and Gamble were appointing a director of first moment of truth based on this three-step mental model. So as late as 2005, five big companies advertising campaigns and plans. Now, the big problem about traditional marketing is something that I first came across on an episode of The West Wing when the president was talking about an event and he said, post hoc ergo propter hoc, which basically means after this, therefore because of this. And it's the fallacy that people believe that if event Y followed event X, then event Y must have been caused by event X. And why that may be the case, and there may be some correlation between the events, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case, and it quite often isn't. What you see with traditional advertising or marketing is there's a lots of planning, lots of money spent on budget. There's an ad campaign rolled out. There's a big splash launch. It's out into whatever media, be it TV, radio, print, and it's pushed out and it's hammered for the set period of time. It finishes. There's an analysis of sales, and any bump in sales is attributed to the ad campaign. But that's post hoc, ergo propter hoc. What if the ad campaign wasn't there? Would sales have had a natural boost? Had it anything to do with competitors were doing? Had it anything to do with the time of year? Had it anything to do with the life cycle of your product or the fact that it was maturing within the market? Just to simply say, look, because we did this and we got results because of that is a bit of a fallacy, as the post hoc ergo propter hoc, the Latin phrase says. And if you think about it, John Wanamaker is famously quoted as saying, look, I spend lots of money on ads and half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. And this is the guy who basically created um, advertising in media in the States in the late, I think it was 1880s. He started running newspaper ads and spending lots of money on it. And he was the first company, Wanamakers were the first company to hire an advertising copywriter, and even he wasn't sure that it was actually working for him. Now, I'm sure it did him some good. It obviously did him some good. He kept doing it. And people, will say that their ad campaigns do good. But with the advent of digital advertising, just let me go forward. Traditional advertising is definitely in decline. And what I'm definitely not going to do now is spend 20 minutes dumping on traditional advertising. It still has a place, it's still necessary. I'm not saying you don't do that ever again. I'm just saying if you're not doing digital marketing, you should complement your traditional advertising with some digital marketing. And now you've got the, in theory, or hopefully, the best of both worlds. If you're in Ireland as I am, and you do a quick Google search for the decline of advertising, traditional advertising in Ireland, you get 180,000 odd results. And the first two there are pretty important. The first one is a paper done in 2010 for RTE on the threat of digital advertising to um, traditional media. And the second one here is from the Association of Advertisers in Ireland. And I'm just going to pull a graph out of that. The paper was a barometer measuring advertising spend, trends against GDP, and business confidence, as well as the wider impact on advertising in the Irish economy. And it was put together by Jim Power, who lots of people would know is a famous economist in Ireland. And that's where you got the Advertising Authority of Ireland, Nielsen, and the Internet Association. So, and Core Media helped him get this stuff together. Look, this graph doesn't need much explanation. The blue line is online advertising. The red line is traditional. One is going up, one is going down, and there's a meaningful gap between the two of them over the 5 year time period, just over 5 year time period we're looking at. Ireland actually lags the rest of the world in adoption of online or digital marketing. But having said that, look at the gap that has already um, taken place between the two. So even though we're lagging the rest of the world, there is still quite a gap between where online is now and traditional. Now, that's the growth. Um, that's the growth in the two. In terms of actual spend, it's the reverse. Traditional is still commanding, I think, 80% of the spend in Ireland, but it's in decline, as you can see from the graph. So if you look if you follow the money leads you to traditional advertising. But if you follow the growth and if you want to get ahead of the curve, it's digital, and that's where the future lies. Now, if you remember a three-step mental model before, Google, of course, being Google, have revolutionized the whole digital marketing sphere and online advertising. And in 2010, they introduced the notion of the zero moment of truth. So instead of it just being stimulus, off the shelf, take it home and use it, it's now stimulus, zero moment of truth, where you grab your device and you start Googling. Or, I mean, it's not always Google, it could be YouTube, Yahoo, Bing, whatever. But you pick up your device and you start researching whatever that stimulus has asked you to research about, be it a product, an idea, a TV show, clothes, runners, whatever it is. It happens at any hour of the day, and you're not reliant on TV schedules, print cycles, um, station producers, station editors, or newspaper editors. It's basically reduced the conversation to between you and your consumer or your audience. And the conversation is multi-way. It's not just push anymore. It's not just the companies pushing out a message and hoping that it resonates with consumers. It's now a two-way conversation. So the zero moment of truth is about getting found online and building a lasting relationship with the potential customer in the hope that they become a customer. And it's about dialogue, it's about conversation, it's about solving problems, it's about offering solutions, as opposed to, here is our message. You must believe our message. This is our product. We are the best, and here is why, and you must believe this. It's about engaging with people, enlightening them, delighting them, creating an informative two-way conversation. And by that way, you not only get customers, but you will get advocates as well, people who will go online and review your product, put a picture up of it on Facebook, tell their friends in the running group, old style methods of just telling the friends in the running group that they're wearing Asics and it's this particular model and they're a great runner. Now, how do you capture your zero moment of truth? Well, for starters, you can only do this if you're online. You need to be where customers are searching for what you provide. And it doesn't matter what your product or service is. It may be well and truly embedded in the real world or it's an offline business, but that's not to say you can't make gains by being online and advertising digitally. And how you do that is, as I said there, you just basically be where people are searching. So when people plug in something into Google, you need to be found there, or you need to have a presence in um, corners of the internet like Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, where your audience typically hangs out, or forums. Wherever your audience hangs out, or wherever the people who use your product or service hang out, you need to be there. Just some headline differences between traditional marketing and digital. Traditional marketing is interruptive. So you're doing something and then you have an ad thrust upon you. I mean, the easiest example is if you're in the car on the commute and you listen to the radio, programs are broken up by ads. Same with telly in the evening when you're sitting down to watch whatever it is you watch, you have ads thrust upon you. It's outbound, so it's coming from the brand or company out into the market, and it's one way. The ad is one way. It's not a dialogue. You can't interact with a traditional ad. It's just one way, and it's marketer centric, meaning it's what they want to tell you, and that's the end of it because it's outbound or one way. The marketer centric message goes out, and they hope that it's adopted or taken on um, by the consumers. So it's a hard sell. It's the traditional sort of hard sell, cold call type advertising model. Digital marketing is totally different. It's SEO, it's search engine optimized. So it's not interruptive. It's about being found when people are searching. So when people go to Google something, as it's now known, just putting in a keyword into a search engine. I think 80% of the time in the world it's Google, hence we call it Googling. You need to be search engine optimized. So you need to know what keywords people are using, use those keywords within your posts, your pages, and your website, and that should help you get found and move you up the ranking order, the Google ranking order, so that you appear on the first page. Now, you can also advertise. SEO or search engine optimization is called organic search. This does not cost you anything. It's not a form of paid advertising. You may have to pay a consultant to do it, to SEO your website, or you may have to put in some time, which naturally your time is costs money to do it for your website. But from the point of view of creating an ad and paying media to carry your ads, you don't have to do that. It's all on the internet. And you're just trying to get yourself into a position where you turn up when people put in a keyword search for the product or service you provide. It's inbound, which is the opposite to outbound. So outbound is pushing a message out, whereas inbound is creating engaging content that goes out into the world to bring people back to your website. So the customers or potential customers are inbound into your site. They see the ad and that's not the end of it. They want to actually find out more and engage with the company. And even though it was a post on Twitter, they click a link, they read an article, and they're directed back by a call to action within the content back into your site. And hopefully, obviously, you might have an online shop or some call to action where you can monetize this engagement. It's customer centric. So all your content is about creating solutions for the customer to make their life easier, to engage with them, and to bring them back to your site. So you're thinking about who uses your products and services and how you can engage with them and delight them better. And as I've just said, it's solution based. So it's not just message and it's the company line and we're pushing it out there. It's solution based. It's look, here's what we do, here's how it helps your life, and here's how much happier and better off you'd be if you used one of these. And practical examples and demonstrations of that. Now, in the first two Taking Your Business Digital broadcasts, we discussed this in brief in the first one, and in some depth in the second one. And it's basically your digital marketing infrastructure. So, I mean, you can do some things on Twitter alone and on Facebook alone, but if you're doing digital marketing properly, you'll need your hub, which is your website. You need that designed correctly and with pages that load up fast if you want to keep your audience there. You need to fill it with killer content, and then you need to push it out, amplify it through social media and by getting links. And you're analyzing, testing, refining, and iterating this process all the time. So that's your basis before you even consider doing anything in digital marketing. You need to have those four things lined up, and you can have a look at our Taking Your Business Digital broadcasts 1 and 2 if you want to find out a bit more information about these. Now, inbound marketing, as we've said, that phrase, content marketing, permission marketing, inbound marketing, digital marketing, they all broadly describe the same thing. Digital marketing is the umbrella, and inbound is the next level down. It's like if digital marketing is sport, inbound marketing is the Olympics. It's not one particular thing, it's a combination of things. They're all doing the same thing. You're all trying to win the gold in the Olympics. Inbound is about creating engagement and bringing consumers back to your website. So, inbound marketing is about getting the customer's attention and drawing them back to your website. And you do this by creating interesting content like blogs, podcasts, video, ebooks, e-newsletters, SEOs, social media marketing, case studies, memes, infographics, uh, and a whole host of stuff that I haven't even listed. But it's just basically anything that you can put in your site and push out to attract customers, as I say there at the end. Now, next couple of slides are going to borrow heavily off HubSpot's The State of Inbound document, which they do update yearly. I think it started as a 2 or 3 page document a couple of years ago, and they're up to maybe 100 pages now. And there's some great graphs, stats, and information basically. It's here, it's in the State of Inbound that I found that Europe and the US are actually almost head to head in or neck and neck in their inbound and digital marketing activities. But I know from the RTE report, there's a statement in that says that Ireland actually lags Europe and the rest of the world. So the guys who are using inbound marketing effectively, what are their number one inbound, or what are they absolutely definitely working on as top inbound marketing projects for themselves? Blog is number one, search engine optimization or SEO is number two, and then amplification of the content they create is number three. So if you think about our four-step process, I'll just go back there. Creating the killer content, SEOing it, and amplifying it are stages 3 and 4 in our digital marketing infrastructure. And that's what the top agencies and houses are doing content. The blog is the easiest way to create content because it's basically a short written article, 3 to 400 words with one core theme or topic. You SEO that so you get your keywords in there that you want to be found when people search. You use some anchor text to create links either to other pages in it should be both within your site, heading out of your site, and hopefully a link coming into your site to that page from another source. And then you amplify through your social media. You push it out through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, or YouTube, whichever you're using. So for me, the easiest way to start your digital marketing is a blog, because you can achieve SEO with it, and then you can use your social media channels to amplify that. So the blog should be your number one um, inbound marketing objective for 2015. Another stat here from the State of Inbound, 82% of marketers who blog daily report a positive return on investment for their overall inbound efforts. Now, the return on the investment, well, what's the investment before we start talking about the return bit? Like, how much does this cost or who's going to do this? Well, I mean, very basically, in large organizations, there's marketing and sales collateral being created all the time. All you have to do is do a copy and paste, um, repurpose some of the content to make a killer engaging blog post, and there you have it. Your investment was actually quite small. All you've done is taken some existing offline material and created an online blog post. um, unless you're a big organization, I wouldn't recommend doing it daily. I wouldn't even say doing it 2 to 3 times a week, because you'll need time to do other things. And if all you're doing is inbound, well, how are you going to react to um, the engagement that this is creating. So for starters, I would say, weekly is plenty. A couple of times a month, 2 to 3 times a month will do fine, but aim for weekly, and build it up. If you're finding that it's really successful and you're managing to curate content or pull content from other sources, which makes it easy to do, do it as often as you can in the week. But certainly weekly would be the goal. And 2/3 of the time, people who do blog see a return on their investment. So whether that means a new sale or increased business for existing customers, um, it will be a return on the investment for putting in the time and the effort to blog. Now, 43% of customers say, again, in the state of inbound, that they acquired a new customer. Nearly half the time, their blogs, or excuse me, their inbound activity is creating new customers. 80% of business decision makers prefer to receive information in a series of articles, which are blog posts. I mean, they don't have to be lengthy war and peace tomes of knowledge. It can be a 300 to 400 word, one topic um, blog post. Now, using engaging language, make sure you get your SEO right. And if you delight and enlighten people and appear as if you're at least trying to provide a solution to their life, they'll come back and they'll look for more. And HubSpot is a great example because they create some fantastic free digital marketing content, and it's a place that I regularly go to look for information. And it's the blog post that I look for. Now, to sum up, the benefits of digital marketing over traditional, it's more cost effective and easier to measure. Now, we've only dipped the toe in the differences between traditional and digital, so I'll come back at a later date, and I'll get into the real differences a little bit heavier. But that's just a starter. So it is more cost effective and it's easier to measure results. And there's lots you can do for free. Now, granted, when I say free, I mean you may have to engage with a consultant to design a strategy on how to roll out your content, or obviously your time to create content costs. If you're salaried, there's a per hour breakdown of your salary, and every hour you spend creating content has a cost. But it's not like the old traditional media where you need to hire an agency, you need to create the content, you need to buy slots then to push out your advertising, be it on the radio, TV, or billboard, or in the magazine. So from the point of view of the once you have it, you can do it for free by just putting it on your website and then amplifying it out through your social channels, and SEOing it as well to help you get found. Now, digital marketing is online, so therefore, every time someone engages with your content, be it a paid ad or a free blog or whatever it is, somebody will have to click something. And once people start clicking, they're leaving a trail for you. And this gives you valuable data so you can listen and learn to what the customers are reading, aren't reading, and what they're doing after they've consumed your content. Like the universe, the internet and digital marketing is continue to expand and take new forms. So don't get too bogged down about being the master of the universe and knowing absolutely all the digital marketing channels and outlets. You won't, and you will spend so much time trying to master them all or even get a handle on them all, and it'll just be fruitless because you won't be an expert on any of them. It's better just to kind of do a little bit of research, find out who you're targeting and where they hang out, and then become as much as you can an expert in that avenue. Your customers are online and you need to engage with them. So to think that you can still just get away with traditional advertising, or that if you have a website that they'll find you and they will come to that, is not enough. You actually need to get out there and put yourself in the best position to be found. Having a website and having one or two blogs or one or two pages that describe what you do perfectly is fine, but it is not going to tell Google that you're a serious player in whatever field it is. To be found on Google, you need to be trustworthy, to be seen as an authority, and to have helpful content. And one of the easiest ways to achieve that is to have lots of people flowing through your site, because that proves that A, well, you're an authority. Clearly, you know what you're talking about if all these people are coming. B, it's trustworthy. Again, people wouldn't come back to somewhere where they thought they were having the wool pulled over their eyes. And C, it's helpful because people are coming back and using and engaging with the content. So just having a static website with your contact details and a bit about your services or brand or product is just not enough. No one likes the hard sell anymore. Content is about offering solutions, so you're engaging with people. Just ads being pushed on you is a thing of the past. I mean, how many people record programs and fast forward through the ads? Even if it means just delaying their viewing by 20 minutes so they can fast forward through the ads. People channel hop when they listen to the radio. Podcasts are actually becoming more and more popular, even though advertisement is creeping into the podcast world. People are trying as much as they can to spend as little time watching traditional advertising. So by creating content that offers solutions that it makes people's lives easier, it's just a better route to your end customer. Lastly, blogs don't need an editor's approval. A YouTube video doesn't have studio directors. Podcasts don't need a radio producer. You're in charge of your content. You have the final say, and you can push it out wherever you want. Now, ultimately, I mean, you will have obviously some guidelines and some compliance um, minimums that you'll have to adhere to for your own sake, for your company's sake, and just so that you have the least amount of trouble engaging with your audience. But it's your content. So if somebody else doesn't like it, it doesn't matter. It's your content. You can push it out, and you can push it out in whatever form you like. So you can turn, if you had a big document, let's call it a white paper, or a thought piece on a particular topic, you could break that into a series of blog posts. You could create an online webinar, a presentation, a Google Hangout and Air like this one. You could discuss it in a podcast. There's just a number of ways. Once you've done that work, there's a number of ways you can repurpose that work to push it out as different types of content, and just trying to find where your audience are and engage with them in as many media as possible. And like I said, you're in charge. Once you go through your necessary steps, you're compliant, you're pushing out the right message for your company. Um, you're in charge, and best of luck with it. So we will draw a line under it there for this week. Thanks for your time and attention. As I said, that's just a flavor of traditional marketing versus digital. We will be back in later weeks to dip into it a little bit more, particularly like the analytics you can get from digital, how you can analyze, when people leave the click trail, you can analyze where they are, who they are, what they like, what they've done before, did they come back, etc. And it's just you can build a much more. You'll just have a better idea who your customers are compared to a traditional ad, which is put out there and you don't know what interaction people have had with you. Okay, look, starting to ramble now, so I will draw a line under it. Thanks for your time and attention. There's some contact details. This will be on our website, Fort Level Digital Media, along with the previous two Taking Your Business Digitals. Please drop me an email or a tweet using the hashtag TYBD, or hit me up on Skype if you want to discuss anything you've seen in the broadcast so far. So thanks again for your time and attention, and we will catch you hopefully next week.